like doing it separately. It's a little easier for me. Sounds about as good. Acts chapter 12, please. Acts chapter 12. And tonight, we see the end of the passage that we began last week. And remember, Herod was causing trouble. We saw Herod kill James and throw Peter in prison. God delivered Peter. Isn't it interesting? God didn't deliver James, but God delivered Peter. You know, God doesn't always deliver us from trials. Some Christians get the idea that, you know, it's almost a requirement of God to deliver us from persecution or trials. He doesn't always decide to do that. You know, it's all based on His wisdom. And in His wisdom, He decided that James would die, but Peter would not. There was still more He had for Peter to do. James's ministry was done at that point. He had accomplished for the Lord what he needed to. He was an apostle. And so James was the first of the apostles we have recorded, the first of the 12, that we have recorded that died. And so, you know, some of these charismatics say it's always got God doesn't want you to be poor, or God doesn't want you to be sick, or God doesn't want you. That's nonsense. And remember that Paul had some kind of malady. We don't know what it was. The Bible doesn't say. But he besought the Lord 3 times to take away what he calls a thorn in the flesh. And God said, no, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Paul would bear that weakness the rest of his life so that he would bear the power of God too. Isn't that interesting? So, no, it's not always God's will to deliver us as he did with Peter, but praise the Lord, you know, he does deliver us and can. If that's his desire, he will do so. So, as we saw last week in chapter 12, we have the accounts then of Peter and Herod